Alrighty, hey Victoria. I'm going to take you through the photos from Tony and Cece's photo shoot and give you a little bit of feedback. Um, there are two main things we're going to focus on, which are cutting off toes and limbs, and then angles. So the angles that we're shooting at and getting more variety of angles and more diverse angles. I mean, diverse and variety sounds like the same thing, but maybe I should think of a different word. Never mind. Okay, so variety. Um, when I say variety, I mean like a lot of different angles from different spots, like you move. And then by diverse angles, it's a terrible description. I mean more like the tilting of the camera. So you're in the same spot and you're just changing the camera position, like tilting it up or down. I'll come up with a better word for that. But I'm going to run you through these pictures and show you a few things you could do differently, and again, focusing on toes and angles. So this first picture here, they're super cute, but the problem is that this line of the dock goes kind of right through their heads. And we're always looking for straight lines in a photo because it really draws the eye and distracts. Vertical and horizontal straight lines, and careful they don't go through the head. So here you'd want to kneel down more so that their heads end up being more up here in the clear space, or stand up taller so that their heads are down here in front of the wood. All right. Toes. Super cute picture, but their toes are chopped off. So what I'll end up having to do is crop it up. And I like that it's their whole body, so it's not ideal that we have to crop it up, but it's the best we can do, and it's totally okay. Why am I challenged? 1 second. Hello, what is this little thing? I don't want that. Go away. Oh, crap. Oh my gosh. Pretend you're not seeing any of this. I'm just edited. There we go. Okay, I hit some weird button. What is that? Stop it. Okay, I don't know how to make my computer work. Ah, there we go. Okay, so I'd have to crop mid-leg, mid-thigh. Yeah, you see how that looks? That's better than the toes. Reset. There. See? Okay, cool. So stop chopping off toes. Okay, and then here's a here's a crop. This is an awkward crop. And what I mean by that is there's a whole lot of sand right here. You're focused on your center focal point on your camera, on her toes, and then it's kind of like chopping mid-head. Maybe that's an arm. It just looks awkward. So this would be better if you tilted the camera up so there was less sand and you could see Cece's entire body and more of Tony's legs. Or you could crop the camera, turn it downwards so it's more about Cece's feet. So it's all sand with a little bit of toes. Why am I so challenged to crop today? Okay. So you could do something more like that, and then the focus is all on the toes. And I don't have the other picture to show you, but it would be more like this. Less sand, more bodies. And then it shows that you have an intention behind the picture. When it's just like this, it's kind of like, well, what's the point about the picture? Is it the toes or the bodies or the sand? So cropping at awkward angles. We're trying to put the focus of put the focus of the picture, in this case it's her feet, in one of those thirds. Do you remember what I was telling you about thirds? I don't actually know if I can show them on here. Oh yeah, they're here. See these lines? Third lines. So you'd want to put the toes on that third line or a little bit beyond it. So see this line right here? Now it's on their toes. That would be better. Or if you bring it down this way, I'd bring it now. The toes are on that third line. going across here, and then that's better. Okay, cool, let's move on. Okay, this is another kind of awkward crop because you're like, oh, okay, there's a lot of sand, and then there's some hands and a couple toes, and you're trying to show off the heart here, I realize, but it would be better if you were to move to a different angle. So maybe get down lower, so you're not looking directly down at the heart, and then you can tip your camera up a little bit. You'll still be able to see the shape in the sand, but now you'll see more of their bodies and maybe even their faces. Or stand up and shoot directly down, straight down at the ground, so you see the heart, but now their bodies and their back of their heads and everything are kind of in the foreground, so that gets pretty interesting and adds nice depth. Here's another kind of awkward, like they're just chopped off the side. So that's something we're going to work on. And then here's an example of where you did an awkward angle. This is an awkward angle. And then the next one you took was perfecto. So you see this, there's this space under here, it's kind of awkward. And then the leg kind of gets chopped in half in a weird spot. Whereas here, the whole, like the bottom fabric isn't distracting because your attention goes straight to the focus in the middle, the foot, because of how it fills the frame. Do you see the difference there? This is kind of awkward space down here, and this is just a nice framing space. Ideally, it would probably be cuter if the toenails were in focus, but I'm not going to be that picky. It's all good. So this is what I mean when I say the two different crops and what a difference it makes. Okay. Why is it? Okay, so this is a really cute moment when they went in the water together. Obviously this picture is blurry, but the reason I included it is less about the blurry and more about, well, one, it's kind of an awkward crop again, but also it's not where the action is. So they're in the water, and the action was more wide, like mom and daughter holding hands in the water, not really on the little girl's feet. It's a nice detail, but that's, in that moment, it wasn't the priority. And I'm going to show you, I think I took these ones that I'm bringing up now as a contrast. So these are the ones that I took, and then this is the one that you were taking. And so this is what I mean where the action is. They're holding hands, she's looking away, and her hands look cute, where this is a nice kind of side profile of all of them, all two of them, standing together. And I think that this is, the cuteness is them and their feet are in the water, not just the feet in the water. Does that make sense? Do you see the difference there? This would be cute side by side with these if it were a little bit different crop. But like, I think it's just, before you start shooting something, if you just look at it with your naked eye for a second and kind of ask yourself where that action is. What's the main focus here? And for me, it was her little face and hands next to her mom's legs in the water. Not her feet. Cool. Okay. And then here's another awkward crop. Don't feel bad. I'm ragging on you on your pictures. These are just, you took a lot of amazing, really beautiful pictures. The ones that we're looking at are just the things that we can improve. Oh yeah, awkward crop, kind of toe is too close to the edge there. And it's because it's kind of close and you can't really tell what's going on. Like, we know that it's kelp, but a lot of people might not. And so this would be, again, you're showing off her cute little feet, so this would be cuter if you zoomed out a little bit so you could see more of her body, realize that her feet are standing on the beach, and you still see the kelp, but you don't have to be that close in. And then it's a little bit less awkward. Okay, here's another awkward crop where she's off to the side. You kind of see half of her mouth, half of her nose, half of her body. And I think, maybe you wanted this focus to be on her hands. And in which case, I would bring the focus more directly onto the hands by putting them on one of these thirds, right? So, come on, computer. So yeah, bringing it down like that. And then it's like clearly all about the hands. Or, I can't do it in the computer, but if you had your camera you would take your camera and move it this way to the right so you see more of her body. And then her hands would end up being over here and her body would fill this half of the picture. And then that would be a little bit more intentional looking. Okay, cool. Oh, let's zoom through. Oh, 10 minutes already. Good grief. Okay, this one, this is just an awkward thing at the top because it's not clear that it's a dock. So I would crop that down and make it look cleaner, just having the ocean behind. Because that's also a horizontal line that distracts in the background. Okay, here is an example of the subtle angle difference. Your picture is on the right and mine is on the left. And your picture on the right is very cute, but sometimes it can be more powerful if you just come down a little bit, like to the daughter's eye level, because here it's not as engaged. She's not as engaged with the camera, whereas here you're looking straight on at her face, and it's the same exact moment. Also, when you go down, you get especially if you're at the beach, now the background is this smooth water, as opposed to the sand and the kelp and the water, which now there are kind of a whole bunch of stuff going on in the background. So this just looks a lot sleeker, yeah? Okay, here I believe is an awkward angle. Too much sand, cropped at a weird place with the waist and the little fingertips. So same thing again, crop it lower just at the feet, or turn the camera up towards the sky a little bit more so that her feet are at the bottom of the picture and her whole body fills the picture. Okay, we're making progress. So now I'm going to show you, there's this moment where we had them sit on the rock, and this spot was a great place to get a lot of variety. And the variety can come in the way, in two ways. Either you move yourself around, getting further and closer and moving to your left and your right and doing 360 all around them, or tilting your camera. So these two pictures are an example of where you moved. You're on her right side and then you moved around her body and focused up towards her straight on, and now you have a different background, yeah? So that's good. And then these other ones are examples of variety with the camera tilting. So this is the camera tilting up towards the sky, and this is the camera tilting down towards the ground. And you have the variety of looking down over her shoulder, like really close up where she's filling the frame, and you know I love that. Here, this is the same kind of moment over her shoulder, but you could zoom in closer because there's a little bit of space on the outside that's not necessary. I love this where you have all this beautiful space around the outside. Super pretty. I love it. And I love this shot. It's so adorable. The little holding of the toes, and you're filling the frame with her body there. I love it. So good. This is one of my favorite shots right here. This here is a cute detail, but the crop is awkward on it because there's just too much rock. I want you to understand, like, it's clear, it's not that there's too much rock, it's that there's, like, not enough rock, or there's too much rock. It's like this weird middle ground. So if you want her toes to be the main deal, you can point your camera down towards the ground so there's more rock, and then the picture just crops right there, so it's her feet on this giant rock. Or you turn the camera up so there's just a little bit of rock with her whole little legs and body. So either more rock or less rock, but that's kind of not enough rock either way. Okay, let's see. Can you hear all this noise in my house? It's really annoying. My brother is playing the guitar super loud. Okay, these two pictures here, if they will open up, are an example of the different ways you can crop. So here you have the whole bodies, and the action is here, which is great because if you divide the picture into thirds again, this is on the bottom left third. This is a great picture, I love it. And then over here, this is on the third on the right side, but I feel like there's too much cropped off, like there's just a random leg right here. If you moved over a little bit so that you could maybe crop mom like mid-body, then you'd see there's a mom there. Because right now it's just a baby sitting on a random leg. Okay. These are awkward crops. Her leg is cut off at the bottom of this one, toes missing. Then her head's cut off over here. Then this is better, but I feel like you need to put her a little bit, just a little bit more sand underneath here because you're cutting off her toe. All right. Cutting off her toe. Cutting off her head. Cutting off the fairy. And they're right in the middle. If you turn the camera to your right and put them on this side of the picture, then you'd have the whole fairy right here. So you could have more detail. The fairy here with them over here, but instead it's kind of awkward with like them in the middle and the fairy leaving the picture. Okay, we're getting to the last pictures. Have you noticed that they don't have any toes right there? So I'll just crop these up, like crop mid-body, mid-leg, or whatever. I can totally fix it. But these are the kind of pictures that are really cute, especially like this one where she's kind of lifting her foot. It would be cute if like her toe is just leaving the water, maybe dripping a couple drops of water off of her toe. That's the reason we want to include it, because it just completes the pose, completes the image. Yeah, so these are the pictures that will help you improve the toes and the cropping and the angles. That's what we're really focusing on. Don't crop toes. Think about the crop so you tell the story a little bit better, and get this diversity of angles by tilting the camera or by walking around. And you did a really good job. And you haven't seen all the pictures that you took that were amazing, because I'm not showing those to you yet, but they really are beautiful. And I can't wait to share them. So anyway, good job, Victoria. I'm really proud of this shoot that you did. The pictures, I really do love them. And I hope that this helps you. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.